This is a preview of the Career Explorer that is in development for Pearson. It is a click-through prototype, which means that some of the art assets are still placeholder. There's things we're still developing, but it should still give you a really good idea of the student experience that we're targeting. So when a student first joins, they'll sign in. They'll be given the opportunity to enter their name. Then they choose a game master. Both of these game masters are just placeholder. They'll select a token. Again, those tokens are placeholder. And then their game master just welcomes them to the experience. Welcome to the adventure. Together, we'll build up your character and choose your role. As you play, you'll earn stats on your character sheet. You can tap here to see your character sheet. This is going to be the main point of the experience. Just like role-playing games have gained tons of popularity over the years, this is a system they should be fairly familiar with already, this idea that they have a character that they're building up points for in all these different areas. And so this is kind of what we're going to use to help encourage them to think about choosing a role for a job and the ways that they build up skills that make them, have strategic advantages for things they want to do later. They have a big map that they're going to get to explore, and it says it's time to learn more about yourself with a personal lore turn. Answer each question as your authentic, real self. Your answers will award you skill points and help me recommend careers you might enjoy. So first you roll the dice. We rolled a 6, so he's going to deal us 6 personal lore cards. These personal lore cards give 2 statements, and the player chooses the circle that just best fits kind of their alignment between these 2 statements. Are they either all the way in agreement with this statement or all the way in agreement with this one or somewhere in between? So this first one, I often empathize with others and understand their feelings, or I focus on facts and logic more than emotions. We'll say the player chooses this one all the way to the left. They got some character skill points there. Maybe on this next question about being a leader or focusing more on the group, it's not quite as binary for them, so they choose this middle one. Same thing, they're going to get a character stat. And of course, we're tracking all of this on the back end of the experience, so we know which attributes that actually current job postings are seeking are ones that our students seem to have. So it's giving us a better idea of which jobs they might really enjoy or be good at. Okay, it's time for a quest. It says, I'll describe the quest scenario and you'll make choices that match what you do in real life. So we'll start our quest. We'll have voice acting for the game master. And so he'll, have an epic video game voice and he'll read everything that you see in writing for the players as they play. As you pass through the woods, a distressed villager chases you down, their eyes wide with urgency. Adventurer, our humble village is in dire need of a champion. Our champion must handle every conflict that arises. It's a tough job. I fear I must tell you that we are currently being terrorized by a colossal jackalope. If you help us find a new champion, we will reward you handsomely. Now the player is going to get to make a choice. These quests are designed to give us an idea of what tolerances they have for just sort of daily requirements of jobs that might not be comfortable for all people. This one in particular is about conflict. So they're either going to say they're comfortable handling conflict as part of their daily responsibilities, or they're going to say that handling conflict makes them uncomfortable. And if they don't mind handling conflict, they can offer to be the champion, or they can just offer to help them find a different champion, which is what they originally asked to do. In this case, we'll say we're comfortable handling conflict. We'll confirm our choice, and the game master comes back and says, good luck with that colossal jackalope. It sounds like quite a beast. And we roll a dice to see if we're successful. You can be successful with either choice, or you can fail with either choice. It just depends on how well you roll, essentially. And then the end result also is customized based on which option you chose. So says the jackalope hops towards you aggressively, but is taken aback by your charming smile. You quickly negotiate an easy peace between the jackalope and the villagers, and the young villager cheers and thanks you for your help. So now we move on to a game of skill. It says we'll use our slingshot to knock down targets. We'll gain coins every time we hit a target in our first attempt and lose coins if it takes us multiple tries. Okay, so we see there's targets set up in the forest. This art is temporary and will be replaced, but it'll be this vibe. It says you'll notice that each target has the name of a course that you could study in the future, and to knock down the courses you would never want to study. And then when you're done, if everything that's left here is a course you'd like to study, you can tap on keep all remaining courses and shoot that target instead. I'm going to say that I would never want to study psychology. It's going to double check that I really do want to eliminate psychology and all the careers that might require that course. I'm going to say yes. load up my slingshot. Oh, I shoot and I miss. It deducts a coin over here, but that's all right. I get to try again. I'll load another object of my slingshot. This time I hit it. So I've eliminated psychology. That is a course I do not want to study, but it's going to show me all the jobs that require psychology. And it gives me the chance to just make sure I'm really okay with eliminating all of these. Let's say I had no idea that a market research analyst would have to study psychology, but that's a job I might actually want to be interested in. I can tap on it to rescue it as a recommendation and click continue. It'll just confirm that I'm really willing to study psychology if it means it'll add market research analysts back into my recommendations. And I'm going to say, yes, I am willing to. Hopefully this is drawing that corollary for students about the fact that the courses they're choosing are these strategic choices that impact the options they're going to have in the future. All right, we move on to choose your future turn. In this case, we are going to tap these tokens that represent career clusters. And when we tap each one, it gives us an overview of 2 different career clusters. We scroll through as we go. We read this entire scroll. It gives us more information about the career cluster. We're going to do the same thing over here. We get some coins when we finish reading through it, but it tells us about the trends, what's going well, where there's challenges. We're going to have to scroll through to read the entire scroll, but then we get some coins for taking the trouble to read them. And then we're going to be asked which of these 2 feels like the best fit for us. I'm going to choose agriculture and say that that's the career cluster I'm most interested in. So now it's going to give me 3 jobs from the career cluster of agriculture. It's going to choose these based on the data I've given it so far. So these are going to be my top matches so far within the career cluster of agriculture. And I'm going to have a chance to read through the information and go ahead and rank these based on how much I think I might like them. And when I get through each of these, I've read them, I'm deciding, oh, this one I really love. Okay, I've ranked each one. It will tell me that it's saved in my career ratings. At this point, I've played through all the turns in the game. And then they're just going to repeat. There's going to be 14 rounds. So if that was one full round, it would have featured 5 turns. There'll be 2 personal lore turns per round, a game of skill, a quest, and then this choose your future turn. All of them are giving the data we need to make good recommendations for the students. And here we go. We're simulating what the end-game experience would be like, assuming they went through all of those rounds. First, it's going to call out the skill that they have the most character skill points in. In this case, it's critical thinking. It'll tell you a little bit more about that and just say something nice, make you feel good about the skill that you have the highest amount of points in. Then it's going to tell you what they've learned about you so far, and it lets you know that it's going to base this on your character skills, your deal breaker conditions, and your eliminated courses. So we'll explore this. It's going to show me all my character skills. It really highlighted that top one, but it's going to show me all of them and the points we have so far. And it tells me that the careers that require these skills, the ones that require the skills that I'm best at, were given preference in the rankings. Then it's going to show the player their deal breakers, the things that they said they weren't comfortable with, and exactly how many jobs each of those eliminated. Now, if any of these were wrong, like maybe I'm actually fine with physical labor and I didn't mean to say it was a deal breaker, I can restore it at this point. It will restore all of the careers associated with it. But for now, we'll go ahead and confirm my deal breakers. It's going to do the same thing with those courses that I eliminated. I had the chance to rescue some earlier, but it's going to show them all to me again, give me one last chance to rescue any I want. It's going to calculate those career matches for me. Tells me that it's going to give me the list recommended for me based on the data, but that I'll also get to make my own top choice. So here we go. I have a list of my top career matches ranked from 1 all the way down. So players can spend as much time as they want to going through these. If you click on one, you'll get to see more about the career here. And if you didn't rank it earlier in the experience, you get a chance to here. If you did rank it, it'll show you your rankings right next to the full list, so that way I know, like, hey, musician is a top 10 for me according to the data, but I only gave it 3 stars. So that one is not going to be one of my top choices, even though it was a pretty good data match for me. So I'm ready to move on to select my top choices, but if I wanted to, I could spend as much time as I wanted going through and giving personal ratings. But now I feel pretty sure. I definitely love software engineer. It's a good match for a reason, so I'm going to pull that in here. I'm going to go through and pick other ones. I don't have to choose in the order that's given here. I can choose any I want. And once I'm ready, I confirm my top choices. And then it gives me a final report after it congratulates me on my new role and just says, great job, you finished the experience, you chose software engineer, that's amazing. And then here in my final report, I'm always going to be able to come back to this screen and see my top 5 that I picked, as well as the data-driven picks for me. I'll be able to see my deal breakers and eliminated courses, but also I can see all my personal ratings so that if I ever want to go through and look at other ones that I rated highly, I can do that. Or I can go in and rate ones that I haven't rated yet. And my teacher and my career counselor, anyone else who might have assigned this experience to me, will also get a version of the final report. I can export and save mine or print it out, and so can my teachers. All right, thanks for taking the time to see a little bit of what we've been working on.